the streets on my back. Carry it like I'm moving the. I told him to the hunter, like he trying to move it up. It was like 11 in the morning. Skipping school, that's a truancy about it. I made me some rest in the morning.
Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, fourth-year quarterback Marcus Mariota and the Tennessee Titans. They face off with Ryan Tannehill and the Miami Dolphins. With that, let's get down to Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Standing by for the call, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Coach. From beautiful South Florida, there's a look at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. The excitement brewing here in South Florida. As a moment ago, the Dolphins starters were introduced to this home crowd. They're fired up as well as they get set to match up with Marcus Mariota and the Tennessee Titans. Hi, everyone. Brandon Godden, Charles Davis. Charles, you look at the Dolphins as they enter play in this one, and I don't think from what we saw down on the field before the game there's any doubt they're ready to roll.
They passed the eye test, don't they? This team looks fired up and ready to play.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Titans, an early season tilt, and when it's an early season tilt, should be ready to roll.
Well, let's face it, the aches and pains haven't really set in yet, and both teams eyeing a really good start to get things going.
They go play action here on first down. And incomplete to open things up. These two teams, Titans and Dolphins, met last year, Week 5. That was Jay Cutler versus Matt Castle. And it was the Dolphins getting a fourth-quarter touchdown from Jarvis Landry. And they held on to win 16-10 in South Florida. Now first carry for Kenyon Drake. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
Throwing on 3rd down, Tannehill. Under pressure, and he's going to go down. Tannehill sacked. Jurrell Casey able to drop him for a loss of 12, and it'll be 4th down. Boy, he came in off the edge so quickly there.
Look out, because that's exactly what it was being shouted by the offensive lineman to his quarterback because he had no chance to block him.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. Campanaro on the return. It'll be a 47-yard punt with a net of 40 following a 7-yard return. And it'll be Titan football. Mariota and the Titans break the huddle, 1st and 10 at their own 44. On the ground, this is Derrick Henry. And some room to run now. And a good pickup there. He gets about 6 up to midfield.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On 2nd down, here's Henry. And he's across midfield and into Miami territory. And he got half of what he needed there, 2 yards. And it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Mariota on 3rd and 2. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Oh, a free safety blitz. That can be a gamble, but it proves fruitful there.
Yeah, you're exactly right about the gamble because oftentimes the free safety is the last line of defense against a long pass. And when he comes at the quarterback, he'd better get home and make the play. Otherwise, a big play could result for the offense.
These Dolphins last year, Charles, 6-10 under second-year coach Adam Gase. A regression from their playoff run in 2016. For this once-proud franchise, they haven't won a playoff game since the 2000 season.
Yeah, think about it this way. 2 years under head coach Adam Gase, a little bit of a yo-yo. Playoffs his first year, not close his second year. They need to get back to competing for a playoff spot this season. How so? More consistent play, less penalties, and getting Ryan Tannehill back for all 16 games at quarterback.
Well, you mentioned penalties. The Dolphins had more penalties than any team the last 2 years. Now on first down, Drake again. And he'll be tackled just past the 35 at the 36. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
On second down, it's Drake. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down.
Well, add that play to his resume reel because he went to the Pro Bowl last year. That's how you go to the Pro Bowl. You make plays like that, big-time penetration, and throw people for losses.
From the gun on 3rd down, Tannehill. And he finds Stills, complete. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. And they pick up 25 as they convert on 3rd.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
So operating from Tennessee territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. On first down, Drake. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
They stay on the ground with Drake. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains. The first drive this unit had, they punted. This drive, much more polished, just looking crisper, aren't they, moving the ball?
Maybe the first drive was a little bit of a wake-up call. Probably a little bit angry that they had to punt the ball away the first time they had it. Got motivated, got to the sideline, said, okay, let's not let that happen here as we take over again.
First carry for Frank Gore back home here in Miami. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Tannehill hands to Drake. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. They're in the midst of a nice drive, but facing a 3rd and long here. Out of the gun, Tannehill. Complete to his running back, Kenyon Drake. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 to the 5-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. He'll get only 2 there, and it's 2nd and goal.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone, and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Those throwing windows get a lot tighter near the end zone, don't they? And here's the thing. You already probably have 3 points in your hip pocket. You force a throw here and give up an interception, you come away with nothing.
Especially tough in the middle third of the field where he threw that one. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down.
Now I would be surprised if they go for it. 3 points is not ideal. It's not what they want, but it's still only the first half. Take the 3 points and move on.
So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
This offense trots back out there now, and as they do, Charles, one thing to point out that we saw a second ago are some of the new rules in the NFL this year regarding kickoffs.
Yeah, nowadays, the kickoff team, no more running starts. Remember that when you got to circle a guy around, and here he goes? No more. You have to start, close to the ball, and when it's kicked, then you get to take off and go, so you can't build up your speed that way. Also, when you're returning it, remember those wedges that we used to say where guys would form together, 2 or 3 guys? No more of those. So it'd be a lot more man-on-man, one-on-one blocking. And also they have rules about where people have to be when the ball's kicked, where they have to be when the ball's caught. So to me, it's much more like a punt return than it is an actual kickoff return. So I'm eager to see if teams now take their punt returners, those nifty guys who make people miss in the open field, and make them the kickoff returners as well.
He's got a man, complete. And they finally get him down, but not before he reaches the 34. A big play that time for the Titans. 45 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Now a carry for the shifty Lewis. And he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
They keep it on the ground. This time it's Henry. Space to run past the 20. And he's got it all the way down to the 12-yard line. That burst good for 20 and a first down.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. They keep it with Henry on the first down. And this time they were ready for him as he's taken down at the line of scrimmage. Keenan Robinson, the one that got him down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
They'll try to throw now. Mariota over the middle. That's caught by Taylor. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball in the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Two minutes remain here in the first half. We'll come back to Miami after this. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll send you up to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman is there, and he'll have stats and scores from a busy Sunday in the NFL. on third down. Mariota. This will be caught at about the 5. Now the Dolphins are going to halt the action here. It's a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. So the snap will come from the 3, but remember, they don't need the touchdown. They can get the first down if they get a yard, and the ball gets to the 2. They'll try and pick it up with Lewis. And he will take this one in for a Titans touchdown. Dion Lewis, his first touchdown as a Tennessee Titan. And the Titans are able to strike for 6. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Now it's Wilson. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because
blitz coming, and down he goes. The Dolphins moving with a sense of urgency here. To throw on second down is Tannehill. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Danny Amendola, that was the intended target, and it's third down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter will be time to change things. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. And the Titans going to signal for a timeout defensively as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Matt Hawk now on for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. So possession goes over here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. Last time they were out here, they had the benefit of good field position, led to a touchdown. This time, they're going to have to work for it.
They are, but with that last drive that culminated in touchdown, I think they carry that confidence into this one. Doesn't matter where you start with the football now, they have to feel great about their opportunity.
They'll start things on first down with Dion Lewis. And he goes across the 20 to the 22. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. Mariota now on second down. Throw left side complete. It's Lewis. And a great move on the play as he takes this one past the 25. 5 yards on the pickup, and that is going to set up a 3rd and 1.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. On 3rd down, it's Lewis, and he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. Now the Dolphins are going to take another timeout here as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. On is Kern, the punter, to send this one away. We'll call that a 43-yard punt, 2 on the return, and control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Now a first down throw, Tannehill. Quick hitter here, it's complete. Now the Dolphins will use the last of their timeouts as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. On first down, it's Tannehill. Finding some room at midfield. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Drake. And all the way down to the 41-yard line. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we'll check in for the first time with the newest member of our Madden family. It's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. All right, we will save the Week 1 highlights and apparently get right back to the action here in the third. We'll see if Week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. To return, here's Michael Campanero. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. The Titan offense now working their way back onto the field. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
Let's see if they do just that. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 16 yards there, a Tennessee first down.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
Throwing, Mariota. And Matthews has it right side. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
The pitch to Henry, and he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44. That'll go as a loss of 5. And all of a sudden here, it's third down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Mariota from the gun on third down. And he's got a man, Corey Davis. First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the first.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
I used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
To throw, Mariota. Caught, right side, it's Lewis. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
So that one a hold to right guard.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often, because that can be the make or break difference on a play. This time he had to grab a jersey in order to make the play happen. Got caught for the penalty.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 2nd and 10.
Brian, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
Now a second down throw for Mariota. He's going to fire one deep left sideline. Oh, he almost had it for the pick. A great chance there for the interception in the end zone. Instead, third down. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. The rookie Minka Fitzpatrick with a pick. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. He was looking for Matthews that time. Charles, when plays like that work, it's a thing to behold, but sometimes we see why they're very deep in the playbook.
And how many times have we been at practice and heard all the other guys chirping about, I used to play quarterback in high school, I can do this, until it becomes a game situation. Not quite the same in many cases.
Rashaan Evans out of Alabama had the tackle defensively. Here's Tannehill now on second down. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
A shotgun snap for Tannehill. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Dolphins first down.
And there's a nice catch by Mike Gesicki, the rookie out of Penn State. And, partner, you saw him when you were covering Big Ten football. He didn't block very many people, but that's not what they asked him to do. They asked him to go downfield and catch the ball, as we just saw there.
Yeah, absolutely right, and he can do it with the best of it.
Yeah, how about him in his high school video? Did you ever see any of that with him dunking basketballs and spiking volleyballs? His athletic ability is off the charts. Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him. They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. That one good for 13 and a Dolphin first down.
All right, it's football 101 to know that the quarterback controls just about everything on offense, but a lot of times what gets missed is that the center controls line play. He has to communicate to the guards and the tackles what type of front they're facing, how they're going to block it, and what adjustments need to be made sometimes on the fly as a defense will shift. Give the center a lot of credit because for the most part, he's got big defensive linemen over his face all game long that he's got to try and block and protect his quarterback and create space for his runner. In this case, he did a really good.
Back now in Miami. It's Dolphin football, but they trail here as we get set for the fourth. Tannehill now, the option left. And he probably should have given that one off as he's going to get hit and taken down behind the line.
I don't think there's any doubt that if it's me, I'd be really cautious about continuing to call this play because you got to know. Defenders, if they get a free shot at the QB, they want to take it, and they want to take it big.
And they got it there on the option play for a loss. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And he is out of bounds, getting it down to the 10. They do get 9, but it leads to fourth down.
All that practice time came to fruition on that play. All those timing routes that they work on through training camp, OTAs, minicamp, and just regular season, they got it done on that one. And out.
Tannehill's first touchdown pass in over a year as they have taken the lead.
Man, he just ran a terrific route. Extremely hard to defend when it's run that precisely and the ball's delivered that accurately.
Now an important extra point here to stretch this lead to a field goal. Forbath, the extra point, and the lead is now 10-7. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. The Titans offense now, they work their way back onto the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Pass incomplete.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, fourth quarter, maybe you do start to watch. Is the arm there, the leg's still there? This has been a tough game. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. On the stop, Stephon Anthony with a tackle.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first two plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. Mariota. And he hits his man, Matthews. And he's brought down, but not before getting across midfield to the 45. And a big 3rd down conversion with a gain of 28. From the shotgun, it's Mariota. And Walker with it over the middle. And he's brought down. 10 more there and another first down. Mariota now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. And Matthews over the middle with a grab. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Another nice gain. 13 yards that time and another first down. They'll run it now out of the gun. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. Bobby McCain here, the one who brings him down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
2nd down, Mariota. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
And we just saw another example. These cornerbacks have played tight coverage all game long. Might start wanting to think about a few double, triple move routes to try and shake their guys free.
You're right, they have had no room to breathe. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. From the gun, Mariota. And he locates Walker, complete. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Derrick Henry. And they showed off a nice juke of the defender, but the next wave there to bring him down. It'll be a pickup of 4, and it brings up 2nd and goal.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
He's going to get it running right. And he gets in. Touchdown, Tennessee. Dion Lewis, already his 2nd touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Titans have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter. He's given him a little jolt, just gave him the lead there, but 2 TDs now in the game.
And that jolt puts them in the lead. What a terrific job by him. He is carrying the ball and simply saying, I want to win.
And now he's hoping his defense has that mentality as they try to hang on to that lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Now it's Wilson. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. And now let's talk about Kenyon Drake. After some early struggles running the ball, they've really picked it up. Early it just seemed like there were no holes there. Now all of a sudden the holes seem to be there. I don't know if that's just my imagination.
And give them credit that they kept their confidence, because sometimes when you get stuffed big in the running game early, especially for an entire half, it really makes you retreat a little bit, but not this group. They always have the confidence that they just got their assignments down, they're getting sync with their runners, and off they went.
And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. Give him 15 yards on that one, and the Dolphins have a first down. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. From the 50, it's Tannehill. On the right side, open is Gesicki. And he's brought down. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Back to throw. Over the middle, it's Amendola. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. The Dolphins moving with a sense of urgency here. They'll look to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Daquan Jones in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. He's back to throw. He dumps it off to Drake. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. Give him 2 yards on that play, and that's going to bring up a fourth down. Desperation time for Tannehill on fourth down. And no, it's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And defensively, that might just seal a Week 1 victory. And he'll have a tough time living that one down. It's one thing, Charles, to drop a pass. It's quite another to drop it on fourth down.
And so many teams work on that in terms of locking in on those key downs. I've seen, you and I both been to practices where we've seen, hey, third down situation, big third down alert, lock in here, fourth down play, make sure you're focused just a little bit extra. It didn't pay off in that situation.
Mariota hands to Henry. Now the Dolphins are going to take another timeout here as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48.
Get him, boy! Get him, boy! Let's go, let's go, let's go! Easy.
On the counter, it's Henry. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe they get a little greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college, and how about in the NFL? The miracle of the Meadowlands. All they had to do was take a knee, and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time. Ball popped free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November. This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. And partner, this first week, this first game that we get to call together, so special every year, week 1. You had the flyover, the big American flag out there before the game, all the hoopla, just having football back, so special.
It is an opening day, opening game. There's just nothing like it because you really build to a crescendo. But the best part for us is that crescendo lasts for a while. Opening game here, an entire season. We get into the playoffs, to the Super Bowl. I was really excited. I could barely sleep last night. I can't imagine being a player.
So for the Titans, not much to complain about here. They come in and steal a victory in a tough place to play on a Sunday night. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Houston Texans.